Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me and allowing me to continue to be your daily advocate. If you're new here or you're not subscribed for any reason, please do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button. Thank you to all of you who have been watching and following me for so long. It truly means a lot, and I'm glad that I can be this person.
I want to start this video off with this super bullish announcement out of Ripple. I believe this quote right here by Ripple's head of global institutional markets will give you guys a fantastic idea of where this industry is going and why the US needs to figure out their regulations so they are not left behind. With our flagship product, on-demand liquidity, we are literally harnessing billions of dollars of XRP liquidity to facilitate cross-border payments in a couple of seconds from the United States to Mexico instead of your typical 2 to 3 days like in a legacy system. This is so bullish for Ripple and XRP. For one, it shows their infrastructure, their solution is scaling all around the world and is having a transformational impact on a legacy system. Not only that, though, it shows that other countries are willing to adopt this technology, so if the US wants to stay competitive in the financial system, they are going to have to provide clarity to this sector that desperately needs it. Ripple and XRP are the hometown hero for the United States crypto industry. I believe it's only a matter of time before we get the clarity Ripple and XRP needs to fully operate in the United States markets. Now, I want to show you guys why the SEC's power grab over the crypto industry might not be going well as Gary Gensler intended it to. So right here we have out of Stuart Alderoty. So let me get this straight. Chair Gensler isn't a lawyer, but he once visited a law library. Essentially here, Stuart Alderoty is poking fun at Gary Gensler because Gary Gensler is making all these profound statements on why he believes cryptocurrencies are securities, why he believes in his interpretation of the law, it is clear and obvious. Well, Stuart Alderoty is pointing out to Gary Gensler, hey, I'm a lawyer and I work with all these different crypto lawyers and we're all trying to tell you that the laws aren't clear at all. None of us know how we can successfully run a crypto business because your agency is failing to provide us with guidance. He's making fun of Gary Gensler right here, and he's saying, so the guy who isn't a lawyer is saying this is all clear, while all the lawyers are trying to tell you that we need better regulations. On the bright side of this, though, I think the general population, the lawmakers, and the people behind the scenes who are going to put the players in charge to advance the US crypto industry are starting to realize that Gary Gensler simply cannot be that guy. Bill put out this article and he said this shows Gary Gensler has reached his moment of realizing his power grab and overreach has failed. He is now trying to negotiate what much lesser part the SEC can keep in its role of regulating the crypto industry. Gensler says SEC exploring a shared role with CFTC over crypto platform. So this is a 180 from what Gary Gensler was saying earlier. Earlier, Gary Gensler was trying to say that the SEC should have complete control over crypto and the trading platforms. He is now taking a step back and saying that the SEC should have a shared role. I believe a large portion of this has to do with the imminent defeat he's going to take in the Ripple case. I said, you think Gary Gensler would be saying this if he thought he was about to beat Ripple in court? Gary Gensler is now trying to salvage any power the SEC will have left after Ripple beats them in court. If he was confident that the SEC was going to beat Ripple, he would be going out and saying that the SEC should have full authority over the crypto industry, and that is because he would be doing this off the back of one of the biggest lawsuits in history. Instead, though, he is taking steps back and trying to retain any power that he thinks he should have. And he is likely doing this because he realizes that there are not a lot of good chances he is going to come out of the Ripple case with any positive impact. This is definitely a good sign for us XRP holders, but probably not such a good sign for Gary Gensler's SEC. Let's move on though, and I want to show you guys why I believe this lawsuit could have actually been a blessing in disguise. And I want to start by reading this tweet I put out earlier today, but then breaking down what is really going on behind the scenes and why this is such a beneficial thing that could have happened to Ripple in the long run. I tweeted out, if it wasn't for the Ripple vs. SEC case, the future regulatory status of crypto would have been decided by corrupt politicians. Instead, though, the judicial outcome of this case will create a new standard for crypto assets going forward. This will be called the Ripple test. This is a blessing in disguise, #XRP. And what I was trying to put forth here is that if it wasn't for this case right here between Ripple and the SEC, it is very likely that the new crypto regulations would have been created by politicians, and simply we would have had to hope that politicians would come together and create some reasonable crypto framework. This is something I personally have zero confidence in. It is so hard trying to put any confidence in politicians to do something right, and therefore I would actually rather take my bets on Ripple beating the SEC in court. We know Ripple has been on the right side of this case this entire time, and they have the best lawyers in the entire world. Not only that, but the SEC is piled in corruption. And therefore, if Ripple can create a new standard for the crypto industry to follow by beating the SEC, and we have a fair trial that can provide us the guidance for crypto to carry out its business model in the US, then I think this could actually end up being an extremely positive sign. I mean, think how badly the politicians could have messed this up. I would much rather have this case dictated by Ripple's top-tier lawyers and a neutral judge going against a corrupt government agency rather than a corrupt government agency providing Ripple with the rules they have to follow. This puts Ripple in charge of their own destiny, and I am so confident in everything I've seen the Ripple team and their lawyers doing thus far. And I just want to show you guys this easy diagram to kind of visualize this. Before this case, we knew one thing was for sure, and that was that XRP had zero clarity. There was no rules in place, and now the SEC is even trying to say that they didn't provide any clarity on Bitcoin and Ethereum. So right now in the US, we've got a big nothing burger. Nothing is clear, no one knows what's allowed, no one knows what crypto assets can be used and for what purpose. It's a giant state of confusion, and that's what's preventing the big money from coming in. They need rules, they need regulations, or they won't be able to touch this. But now during and after this case, there's literally, if you're assuming that there's a 50-50 shot Ripple wins or loses, this creates a 50-50 shot of clarity or no clarity. This is something that Ripple did not have before the case. Before this case, Ripple had zero chance of clarity regardless of Congress coming together and doing something. But that has not even come close to happening to this date. So this case by Ripple is putting their destiny in their own hands. It's putting the destiny of the crypto industry in Ripple's top tier lawyers that are giving the SEC a smackdown. And I honestly believe, after thinking about this case over and over, I think this is actually the better scenario. I would rather have Ripple win on merit, have the rules built around one of the most transparent, one of the most well-intentioned cryptocurrency companies in the space. And this is going to get hashed out on a neutral playing ground in the courts through the judicial system. And I believe this could end up actually being a blessing in disguise for not only Ripple and XRP, but the entire crypto industry. Last of all, guys, I want to show you guys why I believe April 22nd could be a very significant deadline in the Ripple SEC case. I believe it could be the point in which we finally see the court force the SEC to hand over the Bill Hinman Ethereum free pass emails. I have said multiple times on this channel now that until these emails are forced to be handed over, we are not going to see any potential settlement. This needs to be ruled on because it's too much. Both these parties have came too far to settle this thing before this massive decision is made. Now, if we take a look at the filing today, it actually has to do with something else. It has to do with Ripple asking the court to go over some of the SEC redacted documents. Now, this isn't too much of anything, but Prosper actually responded to this. She said, "I think Judge Neprin intends to release the order on the SEC motion for reconsideration, the order for the Estabrook notes, and the order on the SEC's proposed redactions all at the same time. Let's say it takes 2 weeks from April 8th, so April 22nd. I thought this was pretty interesting because this is something we have seen Judge Neprin likes to do. She likes to release a whole bunch of big decisions at once. Typically, Ripple will get most of the wins, and the SEC might get some little one. So hopefully, I'm going to predict that Ripple gets the Estabrook notes, and the SEC will have to hand over the Ethereum free pass emails. But in return, the SEC will get all their little baby documents redacted, and she goes on to say that this is the proposed schedule before summary judgment, so this should happen in the next coming weeks, and hopefully it happens before April 22nd.
So enjoy your day, everybody. I'm always here for you. Leave any comments or questions below, and be sure to subscribe. But thanks, everybody. I really appreciate you. Enjoy your day, and I always have your back. So thanks so much, everybody.